It's Tuesday on Yourview. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Nima. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm very grateful to God. We named the Zibiris, the new Zibiris, on Saturday. Our daughter and our son.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So my co-wives, while I was on the bed rest, they had a baby girl in the US and a baby boy in the UK. So as their senior wife, host and all of that, we did that. So I have amazing neighbors. Thank you to all of them who showed up and assisted the caterers. I didn't do a thing. Just made sure I ate and hosted.
So you put the naming here while the babies are...
I've always named all their babies. My co-wives, if they are watching, all their babies.
It's a
tradition.
Because I'm the one at home now, and the people there don't know. So we have the tradition. We gave them Edo names, and all of these things. So it was wonderful.
But
to my parents-in-laws.
They also do theirs, right?
My parents-in-laws used to, my father-in-law when he was alive used to name the babies at his house. And my husband is the eldest, so they have shifted. But I used to do the hosting.
Congratulations to your wives.
So I needed to share this part of exercising. So I really don't find the conventional exercise interesting, but I was a very sporty girl growing up. So I've discovered playing tennis with my son again yesterday.
Oh.
Yes, it was nice. And we don't have the tennis table. If you want to donate, I can collect. But I showed him how we played it, using the ground, putting a table in the middle, using an old door, all of those things. It's interesting. It works out.
How are you doing, Tokwe? How are you?
Very, very good. I wanted to do my hair yesterday, and I got to the salon, and the hairstylist is not my usual hairstylist. She looked at my hair and said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Ponytail, packing gel." She said, "The hair is too full." Like, she's never done natural hair and used it to achieve that style, so she felt it was not possible. And I looked at her and I said, "Wow, should I show you several pictures when I've done this hair? How can we be in Nigeria and we have people that do hair that don't know how to handle our local hair?" It's just weird. So I couldn't do my hair at the salon there. I'm going to have to go to...
You didn't show her the pictures.
I showed her pictures, but I just felt like I was just... Because they kept me waiting for an hour. Like, I sat down waiting for my turn. And then it got to my turn, and the lady looked at my hand and said, "Where will she..." Like, she looked at her, she was wondering where will she start from. So I knew that this was not... I don't want you to experiment with my hair. So I said, I would wait Tuesday, my natural hair salon opens. I'll go to my natural hair.
Are we there now?
There's one around here now.
Yes, Genius. I'll go there and do my hair.
Patronizing them and
then all
enjoying
to the city.
Well
How are you doing?
We'll be seeing soon. I lost my Facebook account,
How? How does
Since
that happen?
2012 that I opened this Facebook account. So the phone number I used to open it, that's a long number. I can't even find, I don't use the number anymore. That was my first MTN number. The email address, Yahoo had logged me out a long time ago. I couldn't find the password, nothing. I've been struggling to maintain that account because it's been opened on my phone for 3 years. But I knew that anytime I changed the phone, I would lose the account. So finally, it caught up with me. I've lost the account. I've opened a new one, BC Ugbo, and I'm beginning to add people. I'm building from fresh. So nobody can stress me. It's okay. It's fine. Social media.
I didn't even know that you can lose an account.
If you can't log in, if you don't have your password, I couldn't get anything. So even when they send the codes to the number doesn't exist anymore. I don't even know the numbers anymore. Okay. So BC Ugbo now, BEECEEUGBOH is the new Facebook. So if you see it, the other one is still open. Maybe after a while they will disable it because I couldn't get in to disable it. But it's now BC Ugbo.
You're looking very fine though, Murayo.
What's up?
I am.
What's happening with ya?
One of those weeks I just want to take things calmly. I'll be all right. It's one of those things. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Rivers quakes as governor gets impeachment notice. CNG buses will revolutionize transport sector. Saudi hospital separates Kano conjoined twins. U.S. court declines request seeking release of Tinubu's FBI record. Fed okays 2.17 trillion naira 2023 budget. Nigeria, Germany signs $700 billion solid minerals exploration pact. And 50 decomposing 29 headless bodies found in cattle market. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Very sweet story. Not sweet, we're hoping for happy ending. The conjoined twins. So the conjoined twins, Hassana and Hassan Isa, are conjoined at the chest, and their story touched the hearts of millions of people. And one of those people it touched was the king of Saudi Arabia. So King Salam Humanitarian Aid Relief Center have facilitated, they've sponsored the separation of the conjoined twins. It's going to be a very delicate one because they share a few vital organs, but they are saying that they've currently been airlifted by a chartered plane, taking the mother as well as a few other vital family members to support the process. And the statement released said that they will be able to, we're looking forward to the result because a lot of it came online, people had seen it and felt that I was hoping we'll be able to do it in Nigeria, but as we're not doing it in Nigeria, at least they will be getting the good news. The Kano State governor was at the airport to bid them farewell. He also admitted that before this time they had been in the Nasarawa hospital before their departure to Saudi Arabia, and they are grateful to the Saudi Arabian government for sponsoring this. Let me
take the Ogun State governor's story. So Dapo Abiodun, the governor of Ogun State, has unveiled the first set of the compressed natural gas CNG mass transit buses. He said the introduction of the buses will definitely revolutionize the transport sector and reduce hardship being experienced by Nigerians as a result of the fuel subsidy removal. He said that the state government will expand the scope of the scheme and throughout the state. They said the 17 converted vehicles in the maiden scheme became the first in the country in response to the recent removal. So they're the first state to actually receive their first set of the CNG buses. Said that it was conceived even before the fuel subsidy removal, as his administration was desirous of cost-effective transportation system for the environment. The initiative, we knew the regulation of the downstream sector was eminent and unavoidable. So he was saying that he was being proactive to have ordered the CNG was even before the subsidy removal.
That's a win for them.
Yeah, it's a win.
Well, 17 is not enough, but he's the first phase.
According to the Solid Minerals Development Minister, Dele Alaki, Nigeria signed an MOU with Geoscan GmbH, a German geoscientific technology company, of exploring minerals worth $700 billion in Nigeria. And he was very excited talking about it. He said this wasn't a fake decision, but the agreement was reached on Sunday when the German Chancellor visited Nigeria, and he highlighted some of the benefits, to include that they'll be, of course, creating jobs, and that the Geoscan company has a cutting-edge technology capable of exploring mineral deposits up to 10,000 meters below the Earth's surface. And he talked about how the cost effectiveness of this technology will make it 80% cheaper than the current exploration process and 3 times faster in locating underground deposits. It's good, it's beneficial. I don't want to go into the story, but as I was reading it, I kept looking for the environmental benefits. We cannot go back to what we have in the oil exploration parts of Nigeria right now. Anywhere we're exploring minerals in Nigeria, we must always add that environment is protected and that our people are also protected.
Well taken care of.
Right.
Well, yeah. Continuation of yesterday's story. Taraba government mourns 100 boat accident victims and others probe. So we remember yesterday, I think Miriam took the story, that the acting chairman of the Inland Water Transporters in Taraba State, Mr. Jida, said that the boat carrying nearly 100 passengers capsized en route to Karim Lamido from Mayor Reneyo. And they said they found the corpses of 3 children, which was recovered at the search and rescue operation that is still ongoing. So they said about 100 passengers that lost their lives in the boat accident. None of them, including the operator of the boat, was wearing the life jacket. And so the Taraba State Governor, Dr. Abu Kefas, has condoled with the families of the 100 passengers who were feared to die in the Saturday's boat accident. And he says in his message, "This is a sad moment for Taraba State. I want to extend my heartfelt condolences to the family of those who lost their lives in the incident. I am grieved by these developments and have since ordered a thorough investigation into the incident." So hopefully we'll find out exactly what caused the accident and how it can be avoided for next time.
Okay, The Punch, the retired now presidency tells Apolitical, ex-VP, rubbishes Supreme Court's judgment. Tinubu canvasses 2 trillion naira disclosed recapitalization and tariff review. FG approves 2.2 trillion naira supplementary budget. 70 corpse skeletons uncovered near Abia cattle market, says governor. Ohaneze Soludo mourn as legal icon Nwabueze dies at 94. Rivers Assembly in crisis as Wike's loyalists move to impeach Fubara. And Taraba governor mourns 100 boat accident victims, orders probe. Okay, which story? Starting in Punch?
So I have the Abia State story. Governor Alex Oti of Abia State has decided to turn the Longpata cattle market in Unwenochi, axis of Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway, into a daily market. So it used to be an exclusively cattle market that, more like an abattoir where things are done, but they went in and found 50 decomposing corpses, 20 headless corpses, and several skeletons scattered around the market. So, suggesting, of course, process of kidnapping, human organ harvest, and all of that. Deep crime. And they said that they suspect that kidnappers also used the market as a collection point or meeting point for ransom between families of kidnapped victims and them. And so they have decided that that market will no longer operate exclusively for cattle as it used to be. It will be opened up for daily transaction, and those people who have houses within the markets are no longer allowed to stay there. They must live in town, come to the market, do their businesses, and go. Yes, I love that part, and I hope that it will be taken just as the governor has said it, not added any extras to it.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to continue with the Punch. Who has Punch story? Anybody?
Yes, I have a story in the Punch. Members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASAN, I think about 15 states across the Federation yesterday shut down their state houses of assembly, and they started a nationwide industrial action, which followed the expiration of the ultimatum for the implementation of financial autonomy by state assemblies in the country. They've been asking to have that state autonomy. So in Edo State, the House of Assembly was shut yesterday, and there was a protest, and lawmakers were denied access. The chairman, PASAN Edo State Chapter, Umaru Haruna, said the national president of the association, Mohammed Usman, had directed all chairmen and secretaries to mobilize members for maximum compliance. So, and he said the issue of autonomy is a constitutional matter, that it's been passed by the National Assembly and was accented by the immediate past president, President Muhammadu Buhari, and all the government just needs to do is to start implementation. But as we speak, as of today, nothing has been done, and the 36 states of House of Assembly still do not have autonomy. And people would say that the Houses of Assembly are a rubber stamp, and this is one of the reasons that they are a rubber stamp, because they do not have autonomy. So across the states, Abia State, they are giving directions, Sokoto State, Nasarawa State, Delta State, that all their offices, Kano State, all their offices should be shut till something is done about this.
All right, so yesterday, President Bola Tinubu admitted that the power sector privatization had failed to meet its objectives, as the national grid was only serving 15% of the country's electricity demand, despite being privatized 10 years ago. He spoke at the Nigeria Electricity Supply Industry Market at the event yesterday. He said that preliminary analysis also showed that the discos were currently undercapitalized to close to about 2 trillion naira, adding that Nigeria's power tariffs should also be rebased. He was represented by Special Advisor, Energy and Infrastructure, Office of the Vice President, Sadiq Wanka. He said 10 years on, I believe it's fair to say that the objective of the sector, the privatization hasn't been met, and there's so much more to be done concerning tax rebates and total recapitalization of the discos. Yeah. Okay, any other story in Punch?
Yeah, so a lot of tributes have been pouring in for Professor Ben Nwabweze. He passed away on Sunday. Is a native of Atani, Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State, and a senior advocate of Nigeria, was born in 1931. The Soludo Mond, a lot of people have been speaking great words about him. The official statement by Ohanaeze Ndigbo says it's with heavy heart that they are joining the entire Igbo nation to express their large mourning for the loss of a great luminary. The governor also mentioned the fact that he's had major influence on Nigeria that extends beyond his home state, but he lived a life that inspired many people transgenerationally within the legal space as well as citizens at large.
Yeah.
So
his books formed most of the law students in Nigeria.
Yes, it's a criminal law. And also, even I was going to let me add a bit to that. Even our president also sent his condolences to the family. When Professor Ben Nwabweze stepped into the shoes of Frederick Rotimi Alade Williams of blessed memory as an outstanding authority in constitution crafting and political reforms. And he also drafted the 1979 Constitution.
Wow.
This is a man that also helped lots of countries across Africa to draft their individual constitutions. The credibility group calls him the oracle of the law. Wow. This is a man that was greatly, was my dad's friend. Really great. Yeah, he's somebody that was well respected.
I don't know. I skipped the story, but when you mentioned
respected,
there's no book
There's no
that will not know that.
Yeah. So he's so respected, and yes, which he deserves a befitting area. Talking to some people.
Are we going to contribute for that?
No, he's able. Okay, moving on now to Vanguard. Chaos erupts in Rivers. You would not read the Rivers story since morning.
It's a hot topic.
Okay. Supreme Court verdict, struggle continues as long as I breathe, says Atiku. Ondo Assembly Speaker, you didn't take your people. Apologies won't stop your impeachment. Okay, good. FEC approves 2.17 trillion naira 2023 supplementary budget. Autonomy, Oyo, Edo, Kano, Ogun, Ondo Assembly workers begin indefinite strike. Electricity sector privatization has failed, says federal government. And tributes as elder statement, Nwabweze dies at 94. Okay. You know something we forgot to add with the Professor Nwabweze? When he was 84, he prayed to God that he wanted to stay extra 5 years, and God gave him extra 10 years.
Wow.
So his prayer was he died at 94, and he said there was so much more he wanted to do in life.
Well, don't worry, this burial, they will do it.
This burial,
he has lived.
Yeah, he lived.
And he's from the southeast, where burials for such elders is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yes, befitting. So I don't know whether the story made the front page, because BC took my story in the Vanguard, so I've changed it. So the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yesterday issued the warning to those people who like to come to fake meetings uninvited, unannounced, unappointed. So he said, I have noticed that, people sneaking around. I noticed people sneaking in and out of council, people who have had access to this place when they should not have, and that is not acceptable. And he gave the people he wanted exempted from the ban. He said only Adiza Usman, Special Advisor on Policy Coordination, Bayo Ononuga, Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, and Akim Muriokola, Principal Private Secretary, and Dami Lotun Aderemi, Private Secretary. Those are the exempted people who can come into fake meeting.
During fake meeting, some people that have access to
people want to see ministers.
They want to see one minister. They want to see the.
So they come in.
Come in and be speaking in.
But the Nigerian
That
thing.
meeting is between the president and
his
the ministers, immediate
Yeah,
cabinet.
but all the people who just know somebody, know somebody wants to catch a
So
minister.
That opportunity.
Yes, they have directed
President
the.
is not the usual. This
No.
is they call you out.
And he has also tried to set record concerning the chief of staff. You know, there are rumors saying that he was not competent. He said, listen, leave my chief of staff alone. I have full confidence in him, and he's my chief of staff, you know. So it's good that he's voicing it out, because speculating is going around and people should...
But I even like this warning for... Can I see? Let me just hang around.
So Benue State University, Makurdi, yesterday placed 1 month suspension of 200 to 600 level medical students of the College of Health Sciences. And the students had, these particular students had on October 25th protested against the lack of water, adequate hostel accommodation in the institution, and the management had failed to address it. So they went ahead to give them suspension, excluding 100-level students, because those ones were not a part of it. And, you know, they said in their statement that management committee also noted with dismay the recalcitrant attitude of these medical students before, during, and after the demonstration, and resolved as follows. Management committee will constitute an investigative committee to look into the remote and immediate causes of demonstration and advise us appropriately. However, they have suspended them before they are looking into the issues. So I would have thought that they would focus on the issues these students are raising. They are going to be staying home for 1 month instead of completing their studies. It will also affect them by the time they come back. So if you investigate and see that they actually need the good accommodation and water supply, you give that to them instead of just getting upset because they protested for what they needed and then suspend them. I don't think it's
still on the vanguard.
Following the story of the Ondo State House of Assembly and their decision to probe and impeach the deputy governor. So the Speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly has declared that the apology by Mr. Lucky Ayedatiwa, the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, is a personal thing. It does not affect them at the Assembly. That's Mr. Speaker of the Assembly, Mr. Olamide Oladiji, has said that the apology is a personal thing. It does not concern the State Assembly. Their own is to continue with the process of impeachment and probe the Deputy Governor. He said the House is not divided. Some people are trying to divide the House, that the House is united in speaking.
Okay, another story. Moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. Mayhem in Rivers. Police arrest 2 people for setting school property ablaze. 70 bodies found in Abia community. History will vindicate me over Supreme Court judgment, says article. How seniority arrangements stalled appointment of new Supreme Court justices. Alaafin Stool. Court hears suit filed by Oyo Kingmakers against Makinde today. Ayedatiwa's apology can't stop his impeachment process, says Ondo Speaker. Tinubu passes vote of confidence in Gbajabiamila. And Ohadeze leader Nwabueze dies. Tinubu others mourn. Okay, I want to continue with the Ondo Speaker story. I think
yes, so the Ondo Speaker said that the House remains united, that they are not going to stop the case. His personal issues with the governor had nothing to do with what they are doing at the House of Assembly, and his apology was to the governor. It doesn't affect them. He also said that there was a case that the deputy governor, through his lawyers, are taking to stop the the Speaker, who is the 4th defender, and as well as the Assembly, the 6th defender, to not probe or impeach him, that they've taken it to Court of Appeal, but that they are going to continue. The Deputy Governor has asked the judge to hands off the case because they took it to court. There are many issues back and forth with what is happening in Ondo State. It is so sad that we are talking about politics as opposed to, yes.
I have the police arrest 2 people for setting school property ablaze in Ogun State. So the Ogun State Police Command arrested 2 pupils of the community primary school, Isheri Olofi, 6-year-old Wahis, and 9-year-old Malik, for allegedly setting the school property ablaze. They said they went to school on a Sunday and gathered books within the schools, gathered them, in the center of class and set it on fire, intending, of course, to set the school ablaze. The police public relations officer for Ogun State, Omolola Odutola, said the incident was reported at the Ojodu Abiodun Divisional Police Station and by a community leader in the locality, and they immediately arrested the kids. they're also making inquiries to finding the parents of the children, you know, before this. This is such a serious crime that... So they've not arrested the parents yet. I'm just wondering what would be behind. Were they intentional in burning down the school, or they were just playing, you know, kids 6 and 9?
Children.
6 and 9 is, you know, is not within legal age for reasoning.
Right.
They usually is from 12 upwards. So maybe 2 playful children playing with fire and, you know.
So that's story. Okay, I think that's all we can take on front page review. When we come back, move on to the hot topic of today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Yesterday, we started a discussion on the crisis in Rivers State, and the whole of Nigeria is talking about it. What happened in Rivers State House of Assembly, where they were firing tear gas and dispersing water at Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, as lawmakers scampered for safety. It is alleged that the governor himself and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, are currently at loggerheads over the governance of the state. You can join the show. You can call us on the numbers on your screen so you can join the conversation. But first, we'll be speaking to hear your own thoughts on it, what happened. We'll open our phone line 08107641679, 09024163440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourviewTVC so we can read your tweet. We would like to hear Nigerians' views on what's going on. There's been speculations here and there on what the cause of these feud could be. Many have speculated, saying that it's probably instigated by the former governor. Others are saying there are issues concerning the leadership of the region, which zone, which area, the riverine area versus those who have always been leaders in the state. Others are saying it's about resource control. There are different things going on out there, but we'd like to hear from experts later on and also from Nigerians, especially those living in River State. What are your thoughts? What happened? How did you experience it yesterday? And what comes to mind when you see stuff like this happening in governance? And then it will bring us to the conversation on successors. How do governors, or why do governors pick the successors, and what the expectations are when I pick you as a successor? And that's really all the conversation we're having. Let me start with you, talk about your thoughts on this drama that happened yesterday, and how did you make it out?
Okay, so obviously there's a political crisis going on in Rivers State. That's very obvious. But under no circumstances should the governor of a state be shot at by the police. At no point should we have the governor of the state be attacked by the security apparatus of the state. So for me, it just speaks to chaos and impunity. It speaks to the fact that there's no rule of law or order being followed. For whatever reason, for whatever grouse the governor has with anybody that has influence, if we have a sitting governor in his state, get this kind of attack happen to him.
But there was a video, though, that I saw, that somebody was saying, I think it was a member of the DSS, that was saying that stop shooting, the governor is here. Because then even when they were attacking, it's possible they don't know the governor was around. So I saw that video where they were saying, stop, the governor has arrived, though. And so it's possible, I'm not saying they didn't shoot, I'm just saying that the video I saw was where the DSS was telling the police that the governor is here, stop shooting. So we could be read in different ways, but what are your own general? I mean,
he's spoken up. He said that he spoke up to say that the governor said that he's done nothing to warrant being impeached. Said that he's willing to, if they're shooting at him, he's willing to die for what he believes in. And people have speculated online that he's trying to break free from the heavy chokehold that the former governor has on him and the finances of the state. So those allegations, knowing the kind of person that former governor of Rivers State and current minister for the FCT is, I was expecting that we would have heard a lot from his own side, because he's always very vocal about whatever it is that he has in mind. But we haven't really I haven't seen his own press release concerning it because they've been pointing fingers at him as the culprit here, that because he has the loyalty of the State Assembly, as well as they said that the commissioner of the state is loyal to him, and he has put all of them together to fight the governor because the governor is not doing what he wants.
Because we may never have the background stories because we're not into politics and we're not politicians. But I would like us to speak to the fact that, I think Dr. said it earlier, that governance isn't going on. It's just about politics. And somebody was telling me somewhere that, that Nigeria doesn't have an economic problem. We don't have real problems. Our real problems are politicians. Because once you fix politics, everything else will suffer. Every other thing will fall into place. So politics and politicians are the issues because they are not coordinating themselves properly. They are not understanding the craft, and they're all going about their selfish interests. So if we fix politicians, Nigeria will be fixed because there's so many opportunities in Nigeria. So, but what was your own take on what happened and how do you see the behavior? As I said, we don't have the back stories of the political intricacies going in. Hopefully, we'll have our guests who shed some light on this. But from what your own observation, BC, what do you think? What do you make of it?
I think it's embarrassing. I think it's annoying. I think in 2023, this is not what we should be hearing. How can a governor be attacked, a chief security officer of the state be attacked by the same security officers that are supposed to even be protecting him? It doesn't make logical sense. And, you know, we do things without thinking of what is going to happen in the future, how the people who will be reading the history would, you know, talk about us. We don't care about legacy. And after a while, when that legacy starts and people start talking, you now come and start explaining yourself. It's not so, it was not so, it did not happen like that. I think we should stop all of this. Whatever the issues are, when you have left a position, you should leave a position and face what is in front of you. You cannot be in a position and trying to control the things because you had a say or had an influence in putting that person there. I think it doesn't make sense. We need to learn how to focus on the job in front of us. And that is why we see that the things that we're supposed to be doing to progress the nation, we are not doing it because we are busy bickering on the things we need to benefit or not benefit from where we have left. We need to move on from that. It's really embarrassing. And I would think at this point that the Commissioner for Police should come and speak up and tell us exactly what happened. I would also think that the people of Rivers State should be shouting now and protesting what is happening to the governor who is supposed to be. Because if your governor is destabilized, there's no work that will be done in that state. Everything will be on a standstill, and that will be affecting the resources you're supposed to be getting.
Are planning to impeach the governor. We also need to know what grounds
are they impeaching exactly. So what did the governor do to warrant an impeachment?
You can impeach based on anything. No,
but we need to know what the governor did. What is the gross misconduct?
It does not have definition. The Constitution has that loophole. Anything they say is gross misconduct is gross misconduct.
So in 4 months, he has actually acted in a way that is being impeached. Okay, I'll come to you in a minute, but I'm told our correspondents on line. You want to say your own initial thoughts first?
No.
Let's hear the correspondent's perspective so that we can now get Nima's view. Good morning, Mr. Uche Okoro is our TVC correspondent in Rivers State. Good morning, Uche. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show. Please give us an insight into what is going on in Rivers State. There have been so many speculations across the country. What are your own observations and what are your thoughts on this?
I've listened to your discussion. I've listened to your discussion for the last few minutes, and well, it kind of echoes what the number of the concerns that a number of residents in the state have raised. But you know, one thing is key here. Even before the incumbent and governor was inaugurated on the 29th of May here in Port Harcourt, there were a lot of speculations already that that this was going to happen. You know, many people predicted that something like this was going to happen. Many people had said, well, let's give the administration 1 year. The persons had predicted, let's give the administration 2 years, let's give them 3 years, somewhere even generous enough to say, well, the peace is going to last as long as the first tenure. Then by the second tenure, all hell is going to break loose. While a number of persons predicted this, very few, not many persons, if any at all, expected this to happen this soon. So that's actually what's getting that side. That's the surprise. The surprise isn't that this is happening. The surprise on the minds of many is the timing. what's going on. Well, everywhere is calm for now today compared to what was going on yesterday. Everywhere, yesterday, emotions were really high. Tempers were really high. Those who were for and those who were against were waiting for marching orders from the leaders of their various camps on what steps to take. But today, everywhere, the atmosphere is a sharp contrast from yesterday.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Uche, we'll be hearing so many things here in Lagos because of what is happening. So what we hear is that the minister still controls appointments under the governor, and that his appointees are logized with the governor at the ESCO meetings every time because they take instruction from a different principal. Is that true?
Well, at the start of this administration, when the very first set of commissioners were inaugurated, I was there at the Executive Council chambers when the very first set of commissioners were inaugurated. Of course, what stuck out for many of us was that a number of persons who held key positions in the under the previous administration were also being sworn in on that day as commissioners. Some persons before them. We also had a number of a key official who was, who held a position under the former administration, holding on to or being given the same position in the new administration. And so we've had things like this featuring in the government so far. But as I speak to you, the Governor Siminalayi Fubara hasn't come out to speak directly to these issues. Yes, what you've said it echoes the concerns of many people. It echoes the thoughts of many residents in the state. But in terms of the control factor or the level of control that the former governor is exerting on the incumbent government, the governor hasn't spoken directly to that to say these are the issues, or that's the problem, or that's the axe they have to grind between each other. Until then, remains speculation. Okay,
so let's talk about the grounds for impeachment that they're talking about. In your view, as a correspondent covering that area, what do you think is the issue they're holding against him? What would the House of Assembly have to hold against him for impeachment?
Has he done? Not to.
Well, the Rivers House Assembly yesterday, when they passed when they signed that notice of allegations against the governor, they based it on gross misconduct and abuse of the office of the governor. Now, the specifics of that is what we do not know, because when you say gross misconduct, details we need to know what actions or inactions have constituted to become gross misconduct. So, in a swift response to what happened at the auditorium of the assembly yesterday, the governor said that, well, he won't be the first governor to be impeached and he won't be the last. But, they need to come out to say what my offense is. What have I done? If they can those who might attract my political, those who are have certainly turned out to be a political force, can come out to say these are the specific actions or inactions that they are aggrieved about, then we can take it from there. But as far as the governor is concerned, those are just wild allegations and baseless allegations that are merely being hidden under some very selfish political interests.
So, for me, it is the fact that there was a lot of chaos that happened from Sunday. There were speculations that the attack that happened on Sunday was to prevent the impeachment moves that they felt would happen on Monday. That there was an explosion in the state's assembly, which was to prevent the impeachment, and still the impeachment took place. Is there any, based on what you've gathered being on ground, would you say that there was truly the explosion that took place on Saturday on Sunday was to prevent the attack on, the gathering on Monday? And what do you think the social media people that are saying that there is the hands of the governor, the former governor, is involved in the fact that the police are still under his command?
The governor, the impeachment hasn't taken place. I need to just quickly point that out. The process of impeachment is one long one. It can't happen overnight. It can't happen in the snap of fingers. The impeachment has not taken place. Rather, what has happened is one. Right now, the assembly is factionalized, as you may know. There are two persons laying claim to speakership of different factions of the House. So what happened yesterday was the commencement of impeachment proceedings and the processes. That's what commenced there. That's the first step, the notice of impeachment and all that. That's the first step. So it's a long drawn-out process. But in terms of if the impact that the fire incident had on what was expected to happen, I would say it didn't have much of an impact because the assembly, according to the lawmakers, the lawmakers can gather themselves and meet anywhere so long as they meet certain constitutional requirements. Location of their meeting is inconsequential. So if what happened on Sunday night was an attempt to forestall sitting on Monday, I would cautiously say that did not succeed.
Okay.
Okay, I know everybody's just... one of my concerns, Uche, is that if it was happening in Lagos, there'll be a lot of uproar because the truth is that you can't just wake up and just say... I mean, well, there's not enough.
The concern is that now they are dragging it into Lagos, insisting Rivers not be Lagos. I don't like that, comparison.
No, but the comparison I'm making
Lagos
is
has
that...
worked on its master plan successionally, government after government, and people keep your business in Rivers and deal with it.
Okay, well, so I'm just saying that the impunity, the fact that somebody can just wake up and just say, okay, I'm impeached, it's just 4 months old.
No. So that side, that's on one side. On another side is the fact that
I have to go on a break, I'm sorry. I have to pause you. Hold that thought a minute. When we come back, we'll continue with our guest, Uche. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still going to continue the conversation concerning what happened in Rivers State yesterday. You're going to say something earlier.
Yes, I was going to talk about the fact that when we talk about succession planning, it is not with the intention of dominating the person you put in. If I am handing over to someone else to lead the states, it must be because I believe that person has the capacity to lead the state. But if I'm handing over to a new government and I am putting chief of staff, I am putting accountant general, I am putting commissioners, I am putting advisors, then what do I really now trust the person I am asking to handle the affairs of the state? We need to learn how to step out and retire. Nigerians, we don't like retiring. Governors will leave being a governor. They will go to State House of Assembly. I mean, they go to become senators. Like it's now a retirement. Once you leave being a governor, you move into another position. From that, you move to another position. So it's like a positional leadership thing. And I don't think that Nigeria would work without solving.
Why do we always feel like godfatherism is a problem? Let me just ask. For conversation purposes.
An imposing godfather is a problem. Succession plan is important. If you don't have a succession plan, what happened in Cross River State, where everybody was talking about, I knew the way we were talking about Cross River at 2003. Yeah, because we saw Donald Duke was doing amazing. Maybe if Donald Duke had been a very, very hawkish godfather, when he handed over, he didn't just step out. Maybe there wouldn't be
sometimes, let me come to for a second, because I know BC always says something like that. Sometimes people don't know what they need. You have to force them. So if he had been a godfather such that he's thought there's a proper succession plan where these dreams for, what's that thing?
Dream a better River State.
The stuff that they have in December.
They were doing every carnival. Yes, the carnival.
30 days
Calabar carnival.
Calabar was a fantastic concept that just fell off on the next governor. So it's part of that godfatherism where you are the visionary. You have the vision for your state, and you're able to put people in there that contribute to vision. Now, how do you therefore draw the line between a good godfather
and a bad one? The one that is not on vision. The one that is 25%, because some people have been coming online. I'm not going to quote, and giving us, whatever it could be, the story. They said that, one activist was saying the former governor requested 25% of every River State allocation. They said that the governor offered him 10%. And I'm wondering, what are people sharing?
Because
when you now compare it to Lagos, come to Mile 2 and take train to Marina in the morning, and you know what a visionary, if it is true that they had a godfather in Lagos, what a visionary godfather was like. You have a master plan of progress happening in a state. Every time they talk, they say, I don't know, be Lagos. Do we have what they have in Lagos in Edo? Do River State have what they have? So don't make the comparison. The governor who signed a deal with the devil, if truly that was the deal, he should come out and tell us. Because what happened? Okay, wait. Now everybody is shouting. All the dead body they buried, the leg have shoot out. Let us know what is happening, please.
Let me take Abdul Salam is a call, then I'll come back to our correspondent. Abdul Salam, are you there? Thanks for calling.
I'm here.
Go ahead, you're live. So sorry about that.
It's been 5 years I've been trying. It's my first time.
5 years. Welcome to the show.
River. I want us to be very, very circumspect saying what I want to say now, because the matter is that we all do not know the story. I know a man was Speaker, made that of finance, government house, later became permanent secretary, surprisingly also now became accountant general. Later handpicked amongst various qualified personnel, became governorship candidate. Today is the governor. Somebody made that happen. That man was not a bad guy. Whether his demands are ridiculous, whether he was crippling him from doing his job, I do not know. Like I said, don't know this whole story. But I just hope that he's ready for this battle. Because when you go for battles like this, you need to be sure you win. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me come back to Uche. Uche, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Sorry, we kind of forgot you for a second. So, from all you've heard so far, what do you think is the way forward now for Nigerians? I mean, what do you think is the way forward, especially for the governor? What are you expecting? Is he going to give us a press briefing this morning? Are we going to hear anything from the House of Assembly, the Speaker? We have all sorts of things happening in the Speaker. So, also 23, was it 24 of 32 that voted?
24.
24, right?
Attempted to impeach the governor.
Yeah.
The governor have gone around and increased his number. So 18 of those 24 have, moved from the governor's side, moved from the House side to the governor's side, and removed the Speaker.
So are you hearing anything this morning? Are we going to be hearing from any of that at the House of Assembly or the governor himself? Uche, I'm talking to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I expect a number of things to happen if this crisis continues to brew between both parties. I expect a number of things to happen. One, I expect different stakeholders in the state or different people, different political bigwigs in the state to begin to take sides if this continues to brew. The next thing I expect to happen is that we'll begin to have discussions and analysis about the legality or otherwise of what has happened between with both factions of the House of Assembly, because one side is claiming 24, the other side is claiming 26, whereas this is a 32-member assembly. If you add 24 to 26, you tell me what the total figure is. So certainly the numbers aren't adding up.
Yeah, Uche, have you tested the pulse of the people of River State? What are they saying? How are they reacting to this?
As of yesterday, a lot of persons were really upset. A lot of persons were really upset about what's going on because they feel like this shouldn't be happening in River State. Many persons weren't upset from a political standpoint or a place of political bias. Exactly. The emotions yesterday and a lot today as well, merely about the fact that River State should have gone beyond this. Because you know that what is happening yesterday is the style of Rivers politics. This is the River State we know. This is the River State we know. But since this governor came into office, this state has been uncharacteristically quiet. Many persons are beginning to feel psychologically sick because they feel like this isn't River State. This place is too quiet. You know, we need some drama. We need some action.
Yeah,
Like I said, many
yes,
didn't expect
election.
to see this coming so soon. So many persons are saying that the state should have moved beyond this, should have outgrown.
Oh,
So
Uche,
sorry.
I have a caller waiting. Suleiman, thanks for calling. Uche, we lost you for a second. Suleiman, you're live. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
It's my pleasure having you. This time I've been trying since, but this is my first time of getting you.
Welcome to the show.
So I think the two personalities there, the governor and the minister of FCT, I think need to go back to drawing board and settle themselves politically, because I believe this is a political crisis, and most of these crises have been instituted by the psychopaths. The people from the governor, the present governor's side, who want him to take charge, and those behind the FCT minister also want him to take charge, and which is not possible.
Yeah.
And from the bombing we've seen, it has shown that we cannot conclude, but it has shown that due to the impeachment process that has been laid down, so I think people who instigate that maybe from the governor's side don't want the assembly people to sit to impeach him. So I think this crisis will not work out well for the both parties. So I think the best thing is for them to go back and have a peace talk and move River State forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Suleiman.
River State, you know, when he spoke about the fact that River State is used to crisis, there's always been, even with
Every
Amechi,
election.
before Amechi came in, there was political challenge. Amechi handed over to Wike, there was political challenge. And now Wike is handed over to Fubara, there is political. So when he said they were shocked at the peace, I don't live in Rivers, and my in-laws live in Rivers, but my own is there's a lot of money that will be exchanging hands right now. In the way to buy, lobbying to buy loyalty and to buy support. And while we are busy trying to play politics, there are many other areas that is suffering in Rivers State. Same with Ondo State. Same as in, there are lots of states in Nigeria that were busy, and I like what the last caller said, in that everybody wants to, somebody is probably telling Fubara that you need to fight and take your state, and somebody is telling another person, the UK, that you need to fight and be in charge of your state. At the end of the day, who really owns the state? It's the citizens, the millions of people that voted for you.
And there are Amechi loyalists also.
When the governor was addressing at the House of Assembly, some people were the ones saying, "You will not die." Nigerians, nothing will happen to you.
Yes.
Those are the voices.
Yes.
You know,
Telling you,
yes,
you need to be.
So there was an arrangement between himself and the former governor. One thing I don't respect the former governor right now for is that when you have left office, you have to leave office.
Yeah.
Or be seen.
We interviewed the BRF here when I asked the question what his relationship was like with the present administration.
And I remember.
And I remember him saying that if they consult with me, I'm available. But right now, I have left office.
That's how
you know, this arrangement, because the comparison, yesterday just on Twitter, saying, there, Rivers, I said, how is Rivers and Lagos? When we do elections in Lagos, everybody go to office. But when they do elections in Rivers, they must be war.
They go to streets.
Go back to every election, back to back, shooting.
Let me take this call.
Don't be ordinary election. Rivers is known for the shooting, scatter, kill, maim.
Area scatter.
So what are we saying? How can you even think of comparing the two? I live in Lagos. I cannot imagine living in Port Harcourt during election season.
Let me take this call from Hassan. Good morning, Hassan.
Not for the faint-hearted.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir. Alive.
Please, this issue of rivers should be handled with care.
Yes,
It's like an elephant in a Chinese shop. It must be handled with logic and patience. If you are to drag an elephant out of the Chinese shop, there will be serious damages. Yeah. And let me take you about what you say about these dichotomy rivers, about the upland and the riverine areas. Wike handed over power to Fubara, who is from riverine area.
to balance the issue. But what is very clear here, you see, what we are seeing in Rivers must be handled with care in the sense that it can snowball into national crisis because of the personalities involved. Remember, Wike is from Rivers. The former Minister of Transportation is from Rivers. A lot of political warlords are from their side. And you see this labor factor is still here in Rivers, trying to take their own bunch of flesh from Wike for delivery Rivers to APC. And Mr. President also has to be very careful in handling the Rivers matter. Look, there's nothing wrong in you having a successor. There's nothing wrong there. After all, when you go to Malaysia, we have people like Mahathir that were called back after over 88 years. You understand? Look, our own concern is not about the age or the succession. Our concern is about the progress. If the progress is made, you can come back as many times as possible. This Port Harcourt, not the Lagos water.
All right.
What they...
Thank you very much, Hassan. Go ahead, please.
I personally don't buy into the idea of the successor when we are not running a monarchical system of government. This is government. It's supposed to be government for the people, by the people, and everything.
That's smart people, though. People who know.
And everything people, however it's been defined. That's democracy. So you can have an idea of, I've worked with this person, I know this person will be able to continue the legacy I'm trying to build in this place, and you push and support. The idea for godfatherism that I know it to be is for mentorship and counsel. So the governor, who is the incumbent governor, would always refer to, this person has gone before me, this person helped me to get to this position. I want to do so and so. What is the best way? Just seek counsel. Not that I would put you there and then insist that I'll have control. It's like having a child who gets married tomorrow, and then you're sitting in your house and commanding the child on what to do in her husband's house. It doesn't make sense. We should go past this at the moment. And the world is evolving so fast that it must be for the interest of the people at large. If this incumbent now feels that what we have agreed, you are now chopping into what I'm supposed to use for the benefit of the state, he can also say, brother, I cannot do this anymore. Can you give me time? Can you... And it should be okay. It should be okay. No, I know.
Your ability to be your leader, your leadership skill is also your ability to manage your boss.
No,
whoever your
direct boss.
Direct or indirect boss. I'm just saying.
Yes, I'm governor, you have a boss.
Listen, I'm not trying to support anybody. I'm trying to have a conversation.
We're having a conversation.
And the conversation is that if you put me here, right? Now, you might have interests for putting me here. I don't want to know you trusted me with this. I expect you to give me some leverage to do my own work. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
However, if you have interests that you like me to support, there's way I have to manage you. You might have your excesses, but my own strength is also an ability to manage the majority to manage you.
An issue with the governor.
I disagree.
When Wike took over from Amenchi, Wike was a strong politician.
Yes.
It was impossible that Amenchi would do this to him. That's the problem I have with the governor. Before you agree, I'm just saying, because we don't know for a fact anything.
What they agreed, yeah.
Know your person.
Exactly.
We all knew. Because even the clerk was saying, did the governor not know how Wike ran that state? Everybody knew. Wike, who had all the chiefs, traditional rulers in the states, as they did that kind of thing. You knew, we know his personality.
Exactly.
Before you sign anything and agree to anything, if you cannot get in the office of River State governorship office by yourself as an individual with your strength as a politician, leave it all.
And you become
don't help me. Because I don't want to be anybody's puppet.
But Nima, you can still know.
Yes.
Wait, you can still know and choose to be the yoke breaker. At some point, we have to break this yoke. The yoke of the state, the bondage of the state. You can still know and tomorrow decide.
From afar.
Which
they smelt it from afar. They kept querying that this union, this quiet governor, this union.
This calm guy.
And he walk. It reached now 94 months. Voila, don't start.
So were they
let me take a moment.
They were not. They were suggesting it will come. This will happen.
Let me take a moment.
I don't like politics of help me.
I hear what you say. Let me take a moment. Let me let Omoyeni. Omoyeni, thanks for calling. Please, let's hear your view.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
First-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, on the issue of agreement, see, agreement is an agreement. We have a situation whereby the governor, present governor, and the ex-governor have an agreement. And no matter how the politics might have played or it's playing right now, I think one way or the other, we always feel as Nigerians to stick to agreements. And that is always one of our problems. And when we talk about succession plans are always done in the interest of the person who is leaving office. And sometimes these succession plans, the new successor avoids these plans. He wants to bring his own rules, his own argument, but you agree to some agreements. You agree to do some things while you want to take over power. Because when you are adjusting for power, you are adjusting with so many other people.
Exactly. Thank you very much. What I hear Nima saying is that if you want to come in with your full chest and come and break egg, you better have break yoke. You must have capacity. You can't be coming to with somebody politically strong. You can't be coming to break yoke where you get a governor, the former governor, where it gets serious standing.
I will be your successor. People have tried it.
And then you become...
And Rivers, Edo State tried it. People assumed that the current governor of Edo State did not have the political backing to dare what he did when he decamped to PDP. People felt it was a no-brainer. He was going to lose. Some people were still believing it until the day of election. Alas, they counted the votes and it was somebody else. Yes. So anything, it can swing anyway. I feel that it takes a lot of... nobody can aspire to leadership without help. You need help. The idea of leadership is that you are able to convince and sell the dream. I will be a good governor in this state. Support me. I would buy into your dream. And what Mariah said is extremely important. When politicians understand how to manage the emotions, that you don't let your ego conflict. I know you, I know what you want. This is what you want. I will find a way to make you understand. Oh God, we're working
to the detriment of the state.
Not detriment. You will make sure that
manage
people that
everything.
Assume it's always detriment.
Listen, let's hear ourselves.
But sometimes it's detriment, you're right.
It is. Nigeria is also managing IMF, managing the UN, managing the World Bank. And you need to manage... Everybody has a boss. You have somebody that you must defer to. Except you're not God. There is somebody you will defer to. Every master has his own master. So there's no point you will get to that you will say that I'm not going to listen to anybody. You will still need to listen and find a way to sell your dream to that person.
Not if you're
Hopefully you don't find yourself... Hopefully you don't find yourself under the yoke of someone who is unreasonable.
Yes.
Hopefully you don't find yourself under the yoke of someone who is unreasonable. If you find yourself in that situation, of course you might need to fight.
Or step down.
So how many people are reasonable? That's the thing. So for somebody who believes in you, who's worked with you over the years, who you've helped to get to a position to suddenly start fighting you, you think it's just because they don't know how to manage? Sometimes it's not just about that. It's about the fact that the interests are no longer aligning so much so that it may affect the person's work. And the person is saying, so that tomorrow they will not call me that I came to this place and I was among the people who brought down the state. I can either separate myself from you or we just go our separate ways. And then the person who installed will now be shouting that, you are now disloyal to me. I will show you, Pepe. And we're saying you cannot manage. It's not about managing emotions. So there are some people's emotions you cannot manage.
Good morning, Shola. Thanks for calling. You're live. When he was calling you to come and chop, you remember you can't manage the emotions.
Do you know if he chopped?
Hello, sir. But what sons are you going to? You want to be governor? Okay, yes, sir, no problem. Okay, I'll support you. You remember that time?
No, you can't. You may think that this person has dreams to advance a place, and then you get in and you see that
this is.
I'm just saying no.
Please, if it is about the vision, you would already be executing it. Okay, there's this master plan that, this is for our state. As you are entering office, you continue with it. We will be seeing it even if it's 4 months.
We saw it in Lagos.
We saw it. But the one that you enter, we did not see. Now we are shouting. Somebody said they want to impeach. Somebody give us the details of this agreement. Let's know exactly what is happening.
The details.
Please, before you go and sign
but I trust if Wike is the one that had an agreement with somebody, Wike will bring out the recording.
By now,
there are some receipts you cannot bring out in public.
But can we talk about the state assemblies that are seemingly, these are our state assemblies that we're supposed to be, there should be checks and balance. But we now see the state assemblies that seem to be, you know, I don't know what's the most appropriate word to use, but I feel really, really worried about our democracy and how the system, we keep finding a way to manipulate the system to suit what we want, as opposed to letting the system run to give good governance to the people. What is happening to the people of Rivers State right now? Who is ensuring that the Rivers State people are getting taken care of? Who is ensuring there is no crime when we are still trying to...
Whoever controls politics and
you fix it, honestly.
I wanted to respond to...
I have to pause you because I have a caller. Then I'll come back to you. Good morning. I don't even know the name again. Good morning, sir. Good morning, madam. You're live. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Ademola.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Ademola. I think what is happening in Rivers is quite unfortunate. Unfortunate because no one expected that it's going to happen very soon.
They expected it, but not soon.
Not that we didn't expect it, because everyone that knows Wike knows that he's that kind of person that has an overbearing influence on. So, you know, he's one kind of person that will not take this type of action, but he will want to impose it on somebody else. Having said that, I think I will advise him to learn from history, because if you know the story of Afobaje and the sword, Afobaje la kọ́kọ́ máa ń bẹ́ lórí, lọ́ba kọ́kọ́ máa ń bẹ́ lórí. So he should. The governor, he is the one that put him there, and it's like there is nothing. He is the governor today. He should allow the governor to govern the state. It is somebody that will put someone there. So there's nothing wrong in you being a godfather.
Right.
Yeah, God used you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Let me do a few comments. I have this on Mr. Tijani. He says, help me tell Auntie BC that in politics, loyalty is total, not partial loyalty. Wow. Once you display this betrayal of trust in politics, you're a goner. He now uses other case studies. Instead, you want to let me not go into that. Let's not go there. Right, then a few other comments. Let me see. Somebody says, may our loyalty not be tested, says Babasani Fashola, during these days we strive with our president.
You know, Tope brought me to Edo State. And you know, whenever we take the story of the deputy governor and the governor, I always laugh. You know, when you sign an agreement with somebody and you come around later, it doesn't work, it's not working, it's called betrayal to the person. The person sees it as a betrayal. Who would have thought the governor, knowing how he did, his former governor would find the deputy governor a betrayer? To the extent they bounce her like a tenant out of government house, an elected office holder. An elected office holder. They bounce him. He had to even apologize. He even called himself a godly man. He's a peaceful man. He don't want wahala anymore. Politics in Nigeria is so interesting.
To humble you.
Yes, he humble. He went to Catholic church and gathered his people and said, now, I'm a peaceful man on the path of God. And apologized to the governor publicly, privately, everything is still outside. He never entered back to government house. Yes.
Yes, that.
So, yes, whatever you are signing in Edo now.
They've done Edo.
Philip Tribal and Obaseki. So,
You don't apologize. You don't apologize.
He has, they say they are not taking the apology. As in,
it have not reached.
What we are doing
whatever you are signing, let us know.
So our politicians are now gods. That's how it's seeming.
Yeah.
But you know, funnily,
but we cannot progress like this.
Lagos example. All
we cannot progress like this.
Don't even go and don't talk about that Lagos thing. Just keep quiet.
What happened to it? What do you know again?
No. Let's just leave it. Because when you start over-emphasizing...
No, I'm overdoing it.
They'll give you a dossier or what is happening in the secret. For me, it would be a case of, as we are discussing this politics and we're seeing... This is not the first time this thing is happening. I really wish it to be the last. And the only way that can be the last is if the National Assembly, the House of Representatives and the Senate decide that we would speak up and do something about it. We will propose this bill to strengthen the state of assembly. Maybe by the time we do that, it would help to create checks within the states, because we cannot continue like this. We can't continue to have somebody feel like, I am so powerful in the states. And there's some other states, so if you hear what's happening in Uyo, you will do like this. Uyo self is doing their own too.
Our politics, and we keep saying that
when you
have a customized democracy, because the truth is that the democracy we have here that seems to be an offshoot of what we take from the West. We need to see how do we do it based on our culture, our belief system, how we see our leaders. Because the truth is that I keep saying this thing, that this democracy that we're practicing, is it right for us?
People don't know how to retire.
How do we, as a people, educate ourselves? Because it will take time for us to understand. You said that, oh, these people need this kind of leaders. Are you sure you need that kind of leader? They don't know. Are you sure they're not happy with the Rankadede life of which go and greet? You know, we can't judge based on our own outlook of life.
The democracy we practice has interpreted who we are. It's reflecting us. Look at all these states that we are talking about. It's reflecting us. Nobody wants to be anybody's boss. But do we want progress? Progress is that there's a good vision. And government must be a continuum. Not that one person will now come and say, this thing that my former, I don't think is good. Because he's the one that did, I don't think is good. Not because I don't think that project is bad. You know, I've detailed, evaluated this thing and think it's not good for the people. Just because somebody else did it. It's reflecting us eventually. Every time we have a governor, we fear. Look at Ondo, for instance. The governor fell sick. He handed over to his deputy. But before he came back, he doesn't like who the deputy is again. But what does the Constitution provide? Are we ready to follow what we have? We have good laws. Our President Buhari, if he did nothing, he ensured the autonomy of houses of assembly and local governments before he left. So we have the laws. The policies of the people is what we practice. Policies of lobbying. Let's gang up, let's go and remove her. That's the politics we play. If the governor signed an agreement with the former governor, nobody heard.
But the governor too, the former minister...
Do you know that they signed anything?
We don't know.
It's just a gentleman's agreement.
But even Wike did not go back on what Amaewhule mentioned. They had the issue. So everybody is breaking everybody's agreement.
Politics of Nigeria. It is not. We are no longer practicing wherever we pick from.
Official democracy.
It's reflecting our people.
Yeah. So we shouldn't practice the democracy. That's what I'm saying. Let's find one that is that.
So Amaro is the same thing. If the king had not stay where they
I think we have to wrap up. I'm not sure we can take
our people's own. Our people's
on this. But let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll see if we can take a few comments and wrap up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so let's take a few comments on social media, then we'll wrap up.
Okay, so only one tweet has dropped on this topic. Professor Imonoha Enahena says, impeaching a governor after 5 months is like using public office instruments to coerce the governor into obfuscating submission, which is atrocious and must be resisted to stand to curb recalcitrant and pugnacious politics.
Who is this? Who's that?
The state assemblies should resist external influences in using apparatus of government in enforcing reprehensible practices in governance. And this practice can bring insecurity to the state. All parties must work together to bring development, accountability, and peace to the state. This is the purpose of governance.
Finally says that the bitter truth is that godfatherism is all over the world. To go far in politics, you must have godfather. This is a political reality. Okay, another one.
Mount Rushmore says Fubara has gotten the power to break the yoke now. A governor is most powerful after the president. So it will play out now. Blessed One said, what agreement? Were you there when they did the contract? Person can do like monkey to catch monkey.
Any other one?
We have a lot. I'm just trying to get them.
Sift through there.
Okay, Kore says, is Fubara there to serve Wike or the people of River State?
Is the quarrel over continuity of the vision or
we don't know why the quarrel? We don't know. We are only
seeing the quarrel tends to happen over
Wike hasn't said anything since yesterday.
Which is very unlikely.
Now we're speculating.
Because Wike will have shut down the station. He would have covered the newspaper headline.
New station, 4 at
one page.
Yes,
always.
of like
He will bring
papers.
them on the live
But he's
broadcast.
quiet.
People are writing.
So
No,
maybe we're just
give him
speculating. Maybe
time.
we are wrong. Maybe
Maybe
there's no
give
issue.
him
Maybe
involved.
Give him
he's not
time.
involved.
Maybe he's the former governor. Maybe
So
he's not this former.
Nana Oboro says, I do not agree with BC at all. If you had a gentleman's agreement, you should be stuck. You should
share
stick with
state
it,
resources.
just like a contract. If you pull out of the contract, there are consequences.
Hey, to share state resources.
FO says, please, the idea of boss and subordinate is not in here. Politicians aren't reasonable. Okay, somebody's wishing somebody from River State calls in.
All right. Okay.
Abi, that would be nice to have someone for Rivers calling an individual, but
Okay, so we have to wrap up on this, but I think really in a nutshell, Nigerians generally are not happy about what's going on in River State. We're hoping that some sanity is brought in. I mean, thank God, Uche was telling us earlier, our correspondent, that this morning was more quiet in the state, which we're happy about that. We're hoping that the back and forth is resolved somewhat, and that the rule of law is instilled such that you don't impeach a governor without real, clear evidence of infraction or something he has done. So we should be very clear why he's been impeached. And then also, if there are external influences, they should be able to allow the governor to run his state accordingly. But either way, let there be peace in River State, and we hope that this wouldn't happen again. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, move on to our health segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. On this final segment, we're talking about the fact that concerns over the tragic loss of lives due to neglect of gunshot and accident victims. The Inspector General of Police, Inspector General Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, has issued a call to all medical practitioners in Nigeria to provide prompt and compassionate treatment to all victims of gunshots and accidents. Many hospitals, as many of us know, always refuse to treat accident victims and gunshot wound victims because of various reasons. But the Inspector General of Police himself has come out to say you must treat them promptly, whilst the police reports would then come afterwards. We're going to open our phone lines now for the next few minutes just to hear from Nigerians what their experiences have been concerning going to the hospital with an issue and them asking for a police report. Please call us on the numbers on your screen: 08107641679, 09024163440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. This is important because we've discussed it several times.
Yep.
But now that the Inspector General himself has said hospitals must treat patients, accident victims, and victims of gunshot wounds, please, it's now time for us to elaborate it, amplify it, so Nigerians know world over that no hospital should reject such people. But let me come to you. What are your thoughts when you read this article? Yeah, so I think I saw it on Saturday, and I read it, and it also reminded me that this has been a law for the longest of time. I think they mentioned about since 2017. But the problem is implementation. And in telling us this law again, over and over, there is no consequence for hospitals who do not obey these laws. And that's one thing that is making most hospitals feel like they can get away with it. Because so far, since we've been talking about treat gunshot victims in the hospitals, some hospitals still insist on sending them to the police to get the police reports. Sometimes before the patient comes back, that particular patient is dead or passed on. And there are no consequences for the hospitals. So if you have laws and you don't have, it's like a reward and a punishment system. You don't have any form of punishment. It will not deter people. So I was expecting that would have been a holistic approach again, which says for hospitals who
who do not obey this law, who we investigate and find that they keep sending their patients away, these and this and this should be the punishment. This is the penalty for this. Then we can hold that and say, because you did not do this, we're going to send a report to the government and you will be punished for this. We will see more compliance. But all this, the law has been there since nothing is done.
NMA has also come out to support the Inspector General of Police.
So at the end of the day, I think that it's, of course, the law is in the right direction. We should first treat before we then start asking questions. Even a criminal, it deserves to be treated before we then say, okay, we're now going to send you to prison or whatever it is that would happen. But some other supporting information is the fact that if we make this health insurance thing available to everybody, because the hospitals are also concerned about how do we get paid if the person that is coming to get treated is not going to be able to pay the bills, or we cannot guarantee if the person is a criminal and that means the bill won't get paid. That means I've spent my time and hospital resources to facilitate treatment for someone that will never get paid for. It's also a business. So we have to juxtapose the fact that universal health insurance would support the implementation of this, because the hospitals know everybody is insured, everybody has a card. There is that way, if we treat this person, at least we can always file for a process to get paid. It will support it. I have not heard a case where a general hospital did refuse to treat a gunshot wound. I've heard cases where it was private hospital, but I've not heard cases of general hospital. So,
in recent times,
yes, I recollect the story about the woman who finally got justice, the Christmas Day shooting that happened in Aja. It was a gunshot wound. They couldn't treat in the private hospital. They had to take, by the time they were moving her from the first hospital they took her to another hospital, too much loss of blood, and it led to death. But if anybody has a story of a general hospital that refused to treat, because this information should have been circulated to all general hospitals. So if you had not done it, if you had not complied with it, then we can start naming and shaming now. But
let me take
hospitals, I know business is the thing in their own mind. Even people that are not gunshot, they don't treat them if you are not going to be able to pay. They'll tell you to go
let me take this call from Peter from Ikoton from Ikoton. Thanks for calling. Mr. Peter from Ikoton, you're live.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. First-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
And I also want to 100% support the lady sitting beside between Muriah and Tokpede. She said the actual thing. When there's a law and there are no consequences for hospitals that do not follow the law, then I think there will be issues. When you say we should take people to the hospital, and hospitals are not ready to treat patients that have emergency, then if the patient dies, what will the person that even volunteer to do like the kind of good Samaritan, what will the person face with the police? Meanwhile, he or she is just trying to take that person to the hospital for just safety. So I think there should be consequences, just as she rightly said. There should be consequences that any hospital that fails to follow the law. Probably maybe the doctor loses his or her license and the hospital is being shut down. Then people will take the law serious. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this has happened in the Bagada case when before the law was Arijola at the time and before the law was passed. Any kind of, victim of maybe gunshot or a knife stab
emergency
is an emergency, so hospitals must treat. And I don't know what the fear of the hospitals are, but if we don't, as BC said, start to see consequence, not necessarily taking away the license of the hospital, but making the hospitals compensate those victims, families of the victims, for the loss of their victims. I think the cost will over time deter that, ignore them. What happened there in that case was where a woman was stabbed and brought in, and they just left them. I'm hearing new terms of brought in dead, no pulse, no, a lot of those new terms. But you don't see any attempt to even help. They'll just come and check the pulse and say, take.
It happened in Abuja too.
Try to
sad story.
Do something. Bring in, even honor the dead if it's truly you found no pulse at the point of admission. Don't just say, if you find no pulse at the point of admission, do you just throw the body back at the family, or you help them, keep the body, pack the body and send to the mortuary or whatever you need to do, and give a death certificate or a writing on what happened to the family so that they know properly that you received or helped at the time of need. Because the person that is bringing the person might even know that the person is unconscious or maybe suspect that they are dead, but they need a medical advice. Right. Not that when you tell them at the door, somebody who is grieving, go away, those kind of things.
And you take Adams. Good morning, Adams. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you very much. My name is Adams. I'm calling from Kogi State.
Welcome.
I've been one of your admirers in this program.
Yes, thank you, sir.
And the topic we are discussing now, we want to believe that it has to be in conjunction with the health minister, because we are talking about law. The law has been there. I lost my younger brother some years back. His mates are now generals. They retired. He had an accident. Accident happened, and that was it. But what I'm saying is that it is enforcing those laws that is a problem in this country. Because not only enforcing it, even people, when accidents happen, they are afraid to assist the accident victims.
Yeah.
And this has been a problem. That Mr. General Police are giving directives, enforcement as a whole, but in conjunction with the Federal Minister of Health, which is very important. So
thank you very much. Because the Nigerian Medical Association also have come out to say, yes, they back this directive from the IGP and even our lawmakers too. So I think we just need to implement right now, just to ensure, and we also need to shame those hospitals who are not opening their doors for. And when we do that a few times, hopefully, but it's important. We wanted to do this segment specifically because we wanted Nigerians to know that it's been said, nobody should reject any emergency victim in the hospital going forward. And
I understand that the hospitals require money to run, especially the private hospitals. But I know that every medical doctor swears an oath to save lives, right? And that is why when people are brought before you, you will do whatever you can to make sure that their lives are saved. The idea of sending people away when they have this gunshot wound and you're not sure whether they are able to pay. Normally, what I know that is obtainable is you start treating them and then you make a report. You must have a communication line open between you and the police. So person has just been brought into the hospital with a gunshot wound. Then the police comes to do their job. That's what I know.
That's Hollywood.
And then you're not Hollywood.
Let me tell you,
the hospital.
Okay, I have spoken to a doctor. Let me tell you, I thought this thing happened. A doctor told me, the person came, we treated this person. The person snuck out without it. You call the police.
Let me land my point now.
They
will chain the person to the bed.
That's Hollywood movie now. This is not handcuffs. Hollywood movie.
Make a report to the police. The police will come and do their job.
This movie is on Netflix. When you call the police, they'll chain you to the bed. You can't get out. That's a movie. In Nigeria context, first of all, you call the police. They have to do police report. For them to even come and ask, there has to be a police. What happened exactly? All that processing, the paperwork is there. This doctor I was telling you about, he said that the person was a criminal, was a thief. They treated the thief. And I think he said between 7 and 8 p.m., while they were trying to serve the person, he was doing his rounds. The person snuck out. Now, the police now held him responsible.
Yeah, that happened several times. That he was.
So they said that you're in connivance with them to let them go, and he didn't let the person go.
Yeah. So in Nigeria here.
Yes, now there are various factors. So these things look so nice when they are done abroad. But in Nigeria, it's a totally different matter.
Because we have not started doing it well.
Different factors.
We will still grow. We will grow into it. So we can start. Somebody ran away from the hospital because you did not do the right things.
So that's
what I'm saying.
No,
aside from CCTV, if you have a communication line with the police and you
that.
Call the police, they'll come and pick. They say you see their own lapses. They said they were coming, they did not show up. Why would the person not run away?
Because Nigerian factor, police don't have petrol. There's no fuel. What are you talking about? Are you not in Nigeria?
Wow.
They don't have. What is wow? This is Nigeria.
There are police. There are people who are, how do I call it? There are people who are medical workers who offer services to criminals.
Yeah.
They are. Because criminals have their own doctors and nurses who take care of them. So if you now seem to have offered service to a criminal, they might say you have to first defend yourself to be sure that you don't know this criminal before. Yes. He's not a regular customer. So before I don't have the time to start negotiating and explaining myself. Once you are gunshot, mbanu. Go to the general hospital. They have time to be explaining all those English. I don't want it. I'm a private business person. And we aside from these issues of gunshot and stab, we also private hospitals don't treat you if you cannot convince them that you can pay the bill. I remembered clearly that I was having miscarriage from TVC. They drove me to the hospital. Before they offered me treatment, I was still on the bed in pain. They were asking me who is going. You are not a staff. They say you are not a staff. So you don't have insurance because you are contract. I can never forget it. So how are you going to pay? Your bill is this one.
I remember that's also down. Even there was one, that one I told him I took my child to. This one, he was such a kind doctor, community doctor. He loves to help the people around him. You're pregnant, he will deliver you. But guess what? Once they hear that doctor is nice, so everybody start coming. Maybe from Ikotu, they will hear that they'll start coming. And he wasn't collecting money initially. But then he was like, I'm going broke. Because he didn't have money. People say, that doctor is a very nice doctor. He will deliver your baby without him collecting. And they'll be coming. And he will see them at the reception. He has to help them. So in Nigeria, you have to be very careful. It's a totally different ball game.
At the back of all of this is the way our people see things. We brought about this abuse system. You know, somebody has helped a criminal victim. Somebody shot. He did not know whether it was a criminal. Somebody else is a police officer and says, you knew him, that's why you helped him. See the Wike sent. A young man said he was taking his wife to hospital during labor. He got to hospital, but he saw an accident on his way. He also assisted the accident victim to the hospital. 3 months later, he met the person on the road, and the person said, you stole my phone that day, you helped me. Locked him up for 5 months till he got help from legal aid.
Wow.
To be represented in court. He insisted he stole his phone. I couldn't have stolen your phone. He said, no, you helped me, and so you have the phone. Himself and his brother got him to a police station. The police did not investigate and say, the phone, how do you get it? Not that you got your phone with a, what's it called, lost and find something that's on all those. Not that you found the phone on him. Just by accusing him, they locked him up in the police station for 5 months.
Imagine that.
For helping out. If that person sees somebody bleeding tomorrow, the first thing is to run for his life. And so we brought about this system, this circle on ourselves, and we can do better.
How do we get out of it?
The police is at the center of it all.
Very.
It was more effective.
More effective, and investigate whatever allegation, anything you're seeing. So somebody in the street, he runs an hospital. This is a criminal. Go and find your criminal. Instead of shutting down his business for no reason. That's you were the last person seen with him. Excuse.
Yes.
Does not work.
Then if you are rescuing someone, God forbid you rescued someone and the person dies.
You
are in prison till
in the next 4 years. They have not escaped.
So before I will help somebody, you are collapsed on the floor. God will help you.
Nigerian police.
Prayers.
I will pray for you.
Pray for me. That one I told you I helped. She was like, wait,
Thank God that the person did not.
Thank God.
Thank God.
You just thanking
Don't
God
ever try it again in your life.
Yeah.
When I was doing my CDES in Benue State, so we used to go to the prisons. We were working with lawyers. And there was this old man and the son that were in the prison that had been locked up for over 1 year. What was their case? They went fishing. They are fishermen. Fishermen went fishing and they saw a dead body floating. And they lifted the dead body and took the dead body to the police station, you know, to say, this is what we saw in the water. They held them and say, it's 2 of you, father and son, elderly man, grandfather and son, not even father, grandfather and son, and they put them in prison over 1 year. We had to help them to get out of, so we're taking up some of these cases on welfare basis. It doesn't make sense.
Investigate. And you can also investigate while they are free.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody voluntarily came to the police, the person can be found.
Exactly.
Please.
We have to wrap up. So any comments on social media so we can run off right now? I know Yakub had tried to come, we can call him back. Now that we have a few moments. Let's get a few.
Ade Baptist says, this is conflicting. You ladies interviewed Dolakbo and she said treatment then was allowed, that hospitals were allowed to do first aid, not full treatment, and that they have a regulation not fully to attend to patients. But that was then. Dolakbo was probably police PRO in Lagos at that time, and not federal. I think it was only in Lagos. Over several years ago. Yeah. Now, IGP Egbetoku is the present IGP in Nigeria and is issuing this order to all hospitals to treat victims of gunshot wounds or victims on any emergency. Yeah. For that matter.
Yeah, Chorus says, yes, they can chain the person to the bed if the person is suspicious till the police is invited. Moriah told us his film we're watching.
It's free. How
would they check?
Look how they
the handcuff you use. They don't have, how many handcuffs do they have? They will say the only handcuff they have is the police station.
We have to evolve at some point.
We will evolve.
We have to
the reality of today.
At some point.
Yes.
We can't keep saying this over and over. And that's why people are not taking gunshot wounds. Because they don't want this wahala. So in the next 20 years again, they will come.
So there's a law.
I'm not a medical doctor, neither do I run a hospital. The one I'm doing, I'm trying my best.
Everybody's trying their best in their own way. But we have to run up. But I think, what was I going to say? Did you guys see the police? We were talking about police officer. Yeah. The young police that sang the national anthem. And we were going for her. She has apologized. You know, some people just forget the national anthem. We can't really blame that young girl. So you know, the words can just escape your mind. You're nervous in front of people.
You can freeze.
The National Orientation Agency is still sleeping since past administration. No. It's not normal to forget your national anthem. My kids were singing their school anthem one day. I was like, please, can you people sing the national one?
Let's be sure you do that.
Let's be sure. Let me be sure the school did not replace national anthem with their school anthem. It's very, very important that, you know, we continue. Those are some things that we
people can forget. Even the pledge.
That shows our patriotism.
People can forget. What should have been done is preparation. Where
but when she did forget,
practice,
the people in the crowd, if it was the national, they would lift it up and drown the lines that she forgot.
They don't know.
Maybe.
Because
people in the crowd too, one man opened mouth down. I was like, you loud your voice, because if you were around me, even in statement, in having your speech, if you forget something, I assume the word can. I'll be dropping them. Chocolates of the national anthem. If your voice is low, I will loud my own. We'll cover it up.
Apologize. She has apologized.
People there too.
Let's forgive and forget.
That's how Nigerians are. We forgive and forget. We don't like stress.
But they should do.
They're just staring at her.
They don't know it. They didn't try. They
don't know it.
They don't know the words.
They didn't try.
They look.
They don't know these things.
Why will you open mouth down?
It's not correct.
Open mouth down for what?
She should have practiced too.
It's okay.
Jumping into things without.
Oh, Nigerians are forgiving you. They like. Well, see how pretty
she's pretty.
It's not by fine, though, because people are easily fine to excuse now. She's a human being.
That. We just said she forgot.
She forgot
She's
the
a
lines.
pretty police officer. We don't have a lot of pretty police officers.
So the ugly ones should not.
Don't worry, you are forgiven. We are forgiving you already.
DSP, the lack of bad ones. I don't remember any other pretty police.
That lady there, what's her name?
Your state commissioner.
One that was on our show after
the on the road when you are going to Agege area. Very pretty lady.
One who came after Dolapo on the show, she tall, fine.
Yes, well shaped.
Yellow purple, like
I don't understand. They are looking rich.
Yellow purple.
I didn't say must be. I'm just we're describing her.
Some really fine. They need some really fine. I'd like to see a really pretty Inspector General of Police.
Yes,
they have.
Correct.
Inspector General of Police woman.
I met
leave the pretty side. Let's just even get a woman to
I met a commissioner of police, dark-skinned, very active, very fit woman in her 50s. She in fact, immediately she done the mentor.
You were inspired.
I fell in love. Smart, she knows her onions.
Okay,
she knows her job.
Egbetoku, I hope you are hearing the memo.
We want more women in
Get a woman for us. It's not the IGP we can tell, it's the president.
President, anyone, shall. Let's just need a woman.
They are competent.
Okay, that's all we can take on today's show. If we just turn this Tuesday serious to Thursday show. This is not a Thursday.
We tried for you, Mariah.
And when Wike and Fubara do it, they're the ones that started it.
See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
I tried for you, Mariah. Don't come